Welcome, come in. It's great to see you, and I'm really glad you're here. I'm excited to talk to you about Joseph and the great progress that he's made in this class. Um, just to get started, he's such a pleasure to have in class. He's doing a great job. He's smiling. He's excited to work, and he's been working really hard. He's meticulous, especially with his art. And when he's writing and creating art to go along with his writing, he's working very, very hard. And Joseph enjoys working in groups. He likes reading in groups. We do guided reading every day where he and two other boys will come to the table and we'll read books that are on their level. We'll talk about them. We'll do phonics assessments and instruction that helps them to read those books effectively and fluently. I just continue to encourage you to read as often as possible. That's kind of the theme of what I had planned for this conference. Joseph's writing is also coming along very nice. His handwriting is improving. He's learning to write inside the lines and he's adding more detail, which is exactly what we want to see. He has been struggling a little bit with reading. We have seen progress there recently, which we're very excited for. I think we can credit that to how hard he's been working in class and honestly to what you've been doing at home to help him and to continue to read consistently with him. So as you know, Joseph's reading abilities aren't quite where we want them to be just yet. So in order to find a way to get him to where we want to be, I did some assessments. This isn't anything crazy. We do this all the time with our students just to get an idea of where they are and what I can do as a teacher to help them improve and get to where they need to be. So let me just explain some of these assessments to you. The first thing that I did was I took 2 samples of his writing. Just basic samples. We do a weekend paper every week where they write about what they had done the previous weekend. So I looked at those samples. The next assessment I did with Joseph was I did 2 running records. A running record is where I sit down with Joseph and he reads a short text to me. They're about 30 to 50 words with where he's at in his reading. And I just follow along and I mark whatever mistakes or errors he makes and whatever he corrects as well. I then ask him some comprehension questions and then I can go back and analyze what mistakes he made. It's very helpful for me to know what strategies he's using as he's reading. So from the assessments and my observations, I've noticed a lot of strengths in Joseph's reading abilities. He reads really well with visuals. When he reads, he uses the pictures, which is awesome. He's also very fluent when the book is on his level. Joseph's phonics understanding is good. There are some improvements that we'd like to make there, though. Another area is that his work ethic. Joseph goes back and fixes mistakes when he's reading, and he's just very diligent to make sure he's reading the words properly, even if he's made a mistake. I then did a pseudo word test with him, and all that is I give him a list of fake words that have patterns in them with phonics, letters, and sounds that students can either do well or not do well. That tells us a lot about how they're understanding sounds and letters and how they relate. So I did that with Joseph as well. The last thing I did was just a reading inventory. It helped me to understand how he views himself as a reader, what strategies he knows he uses as a reader. So let's look at those running records. You'll notice on both of them that he read with over 95% accuracy, which is exactly what we want. That means that those books are instructional and in some ways they're actually easy for him. You'll also notice that he went back a couple times to correct himself, especially on the first text. That shows me that as he's scanning the page, maybe looking for visuals, he notices a word and he can realize that he said it wrong. And then another area of strength is how well he comprehends books that are on his level. Both running records, I'll show them to you, but he did such a good job of comprehending and understanding what he was reading. In terms of the mistakes from the running records, the mistakes that he made that he didn't correct were mainly focused on visuals and structure of the words. So if a word looked like a different word or if the structure of the word confused him, that's when he made a mistake. And we want Joseph to read for meaning, and that's really the best way to read. And so we're going to continue to work with him on understanding what words mean and the context of the sentences that he's reading so that he can continue to improve. The reading inventory was very interesting. I learned that Joseph views himself as a reader who sounds words out. That's his main strategy. And when he sounds words out, that's pretty much the only thing he mentioned when he comes across a word he doesn't know. He mentioned that you are one of the people who he views as the best readers, as one of the best readers in his life, and he enjoys listening to you read. And so I'd continue to encourage you to read out loud to him. So to continue helping Joseph and the rest of the class improving their reading abilities, I'm going to focus on more authentic literacy experiences. And this is something that I've been building up throughout the semester and throughout this year. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them opportunities to work in groups and as a whole class within literature circles and writers' workshops. So both with reading and writing, they're going to be reading and writing books that they're already familiar with, and then writing about them together and as individuals. I'm also going to be moving Joseph up a guided reading level. That should really help him. In terms of what you should be doing at home, I just encourage you, like I have been, to continue to read with him in whatever way you find is the most effective. Do what works best for you. I understand that there are so many things going on in your life, and I'm not going to come and tell you to do something specific. One recommendation I would give is that if you find something that he likes, let me know, and I will find other books that relate to that, just to keep his interest and his motivation level high. Areas of need for Joseph is really just more repetition with reading. This is so important because it gives him vocabulary and it gives him more phonics practice. The only real way that Joseph can increase his vocabulary is by encountering words in different contexts. That'll help him gain more meaning. As well, we'll work on more repetition with handwriting and writing instruction. Related to these areas of need, with the pseudo word test, the pretend word test that I talked about, you'll notice that the main mistakes were with the letters B and D. He mixes those up. And the other mistakes were related to structure and visuals like we've already talked about. Overall, Joseph did a great job. We scored a 77 out of 100 on the assessment, not where we'd want him to be. But I definitely feel like the writer's workshop, the reading groups, and the literature circles will help him gain more experience and understanding of phonics and vocabulary. In terms of what you can do at home to improve his vocabulary and his phonics, I would suggest exposing him to a more variety of books that are nonfiction, fiction, informational, picture books, in whatever format that you can find that is most effective for you and with whatever you do already in your home. The more variety you can give him, the more words he'll see in context, the more different scenarios he'll find in his reading, and that will really help him develop more vocabulary. Overall, I just want you to know that Joseph has amazing potential. He's doing a great job of working hard, and I'm excited for what we've talked about, and I know this focused effort on my part and on your part will help him increase his vocabulary, increase his phonics knowledge, and really set him on a great path so that when he gets to second grade, he'll be ready for the new challenges that he'll face there.